And now, Mike's thoughts. Man hour nation, good morning. Happy Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. Week 1 of the NFL preseason is upon us. And this is no place would rather be right here. This is live, raw, uncut NFL talk coming to you guys live, raw, and uncut each and every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. East Coast time. But as we start every show with Buzz Thoughts, and today is no different. Texans minority owner Javier Loa is facing sexual assault charges in the great state of Kentucky. The Commonwealth of Kentucky court documents say that Javier Loa will face 1 count of first-degree rape, 5 counts of first-degree sexual abuse, and 1 count of third-degree sexual abuse. Now, I don't know what the levels of sexual abuse are, but if my memory serves me correctly, wasn't there a particular Texans player that kind of had the same issue happening? You know, Deshaun Watson, 26 accusations, and more kept coming out, and more kept coming out. So, is this a common thread in Houston? Or, hear me out here. Are we seeing the writing on the wall? Are we seeing the stuff that we were all talking about starting to come true? You guys don't know what I'm referring to? Don't you guys remember when Deshaun Watson signed that $100 million deal, and then the next year he's like, hey, I want out. And then all of a sudden, all these assault charges start happening? Maybe the whole time it was the Texans ownership doing all this. Maybe the whole time it was the Texans leadership doing all this, and Deshaun Watson was the fall guy. Basically, they're saying, hey, you want out? Guess what? These assault charges, you did them now. Well, now that Deshaun Watson's not there and all the charges have been kind of swept underneath the rug on his side of the ball, now the truth is starting to come out. Maybe Javier Loa was the mastermind behind the whole thing the whole time. Now, I could be wrong. I could just be throwing spaghetti at a wall, but it kind of makes sense. My man Deshaun Watson signs a $100 million deal. I don't know the exact contract, but he signed a very lucrative deal. Not even 6 months later, he's like, hey, I want out of here. Then allegations started to happen. He's out. Allegations have been settled. This has been done. And now all of a sudden, the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Well, first of all, what are you doing in Kentucky when you're from Houston? I don't think anybody wants to come to Louisville, Kentucky, but I could be wrong, but whatever. I mean, I'm here by default, but Javier Loa, August 22nd, the pretrial conference is scheduled. I'm thinking about being a fly in that courtroom. I'm thinking about it. But my man, well, we got 5, 6, 7 charges on you. You better figure yourself out real quick. But guys, that is going to be it for Bucks Thoughts today. We do got some people in the chat today. We got Chubba Hubba, number 24. He says, go Brownies and Panthers, baby. Oh, we got a Panthers and a Browns fan. So let me ask, are you a Baker Mayfield fan? Or are you Baker Mayfield hater? Chubba Wubba Hubba, number 24. We also got my man Alpha Rob is in the chat. Arthur Brown is in the chat as well. We got Mama in the chat as well. But before we get too carried away, guys, if you guys have not done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe if you're getting any entertainment out of this, any news. Just give it a like, give it a share, and be sure to subscribe whatever platform you are listening to us on. We are live, raw, uncut, every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. East Coast time. Today is Fact or Crap Tuesday. We're going to talk a little bit about Kyle Trask versus the whole Baker Mayfield saga. Is this really a drama? Is this really going to go down? Or hear me out. Is Chris Jones about to get paid, baby? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Does the 49ers actually have quarterback controversy? I don't know. Teddy Bridgewater signs with the Detroit Lions, and Trevor Lawrence is not a top 10 quarterback. We're going to get into that and to much, much more. But first, that's right, guys. First, we got to get into the new news. New news from yesterday, August 7th. Here's some news that have been happening around the NFL landscape. Guys, this is week 1 of the preseason here, so there's going to be a lot of injuries, a lot of signings, and a lot of cuts. We're not going to dive too deep into those. We're going to get to the major topics here. And the major topic that I want to talk about is the Atlanta Falcons. Defensive end Calais Campbell has passed his physical and will be active off the PUP list. So he is back. Calais Campbell is back for the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, this is huge news. He has been bring off the PUP list, and bada bing, bada boom, guys, the Atlanta Falcons just got a lot better. The Atlanta Falcons, they do got that nice core. They got Ritter, they got Pitts, they got Drake London, they got Campbell. When we break down their schedule again here in a couple weeks, guys, the Atlanta Falcons might win the South. The Atlanta Falcons might make some noise in the playoffs. We'll figure it out. Buffalo Bills defensive lineman Ed Oliver did not practice today because of back soreness. He says, "My back hurts. I'm tired of practicing." So anytime somebody has a back injury, back soreness, it's basically comes out and they don't want to practice because there's no way to really diagnose a back pain, right? But whatever. I'm just being mean at Oliver. My dude's got a back soreness and he missed practice on Monday. Scroll down. Dallas Cowboys running back Rojo Jones with the growing injury did not practice on Monday either, said Coach Mike McCarty. This is big because Rojo's fighting for that roster spot with him and Deuce Vaughn. So if Rojo decides not to be 100% like he was in Tampa, he got cut from the Chiefs. Now he's going to get cut from the Cowboys. Do the Cowboys bring back Zeke? I don't know. We will talk about that. A big signing here. The Detroit Lions did sign quarterback Teddy Bridgewater to bring him in as a backup. We'll be talking about that in topic number 4 here in Factor Crap Tuesday here. And Houston Texans offensive tackle Titus Howard did have surgery to repair his broken hand on Monday. And he will, quote, be out for a while. Guys, this is big news for the Houston Texans. Well, I had some high hopes for the Houston Texans this year to make some noise. This injury is big for them. Chiefs quarterback L'Jarius Sneed is dealing with knee inflammation per Coach Andy Reid and will miss a couple days while the inflammation goes down. He is scheduled to have it drained. That is not good for a young player there. Las Vegas Raiders have tried out tight end Dakota Allen after cutting O.J. Howard, and they signed another tight end. Maybe they're not happy in that tight end room. They said, hey, we need a little bit more help. Bring that man in. And Miami Dolphins signed quarterback Perry Nickerson. I guess Eli Apple may not be cutting it. As Eli? I don't know. I see some burnt toast happening. New Orleans Saints had a visit with Kareem Hunt pending the Alvin Kamara suspension. This could be a great signing. That could be a great 1-2 punch. Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara. Ooh, a little bit of yang, a little bit of yang, right? A little bit yin yang, a little bit yang yang. Oh, man. And Eli's apple sucks D's nuts, they say. Wow. Alrighty. Tell me how you really feel. Washington Commanders punter Tress Way has some lower back tightness as with Liac as well, and which is why Washington's working out 2 punters today, head coach Ron Rivera said. Kickers, you guys can't be getting sore in training camp. If you're sore now, especially for the Commanders going to be punting a lot, my man, you need to figure yourself out. So, guys, that is it for the new news here. New news. It is time to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. But like I said, if you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section And of course, check out the merchandise section as well. We do have new merch dropping, new blogs dropping, and I'm tinkering with the website a little bit. I'm trying to get a social stream happening up there, so anytime news pops up that we post on our Facebook pages, bada bing, bada boom, it goes to the website. So if you guys would be a frequent flyer over there at manhourradio.com, check it out. Enjoy the good time. It's manhour.co or manhour.info or manhour.biz. One of those four websites, bada bing, bada boom, it will get you to where you need to go. Either way, head over to manhourradio.com, be a frequent flyer there, and give us the good word. Now, guys, fact or crap, each Tuesday here, we do a little bit of fact and we do a little bit of crap. If you guys are new here and you do not know what fact or crap is, it is pretty simple. We've been scouring the old interwebs. We've been posting stuff up on our Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube pages. We've been giving you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then I finally come down to the show on the next day and tell you if these posts are fact or are indeed crap. So we break it down, we look what's going on, and logically, we do speak logically sometimes here. And we say if indeed is it a fact or it is a crap. So let's go ahead and get it started here. Let's head down south. Let's head down to Florida, where this creamsicle jerseys are out in full force. We're talking about the quarterback competition down there in Tampa Bay Buccaneer land. Kyle Trask versus Baker Mayfield. Now, after a few good practices here the last couple days, Coach Todd Boyles has said that Kyle Trask has, quote, closed the gap of becoming starter week one, outright starter come week one. So pause right there. Outright starter. So that tells me in the back of my head, Todd Boyles and whoever the offensive coordinator is, his name, I can never forget his freaking name, is Byron Leftwich, right? This tells me that they had a 2-quarterback system kind of planned in the back of their head. They're like, hey, we got Baker, we got Kyle Trask. Let's do this quarterback system 1-2. Pause. That never works. Anytime you have a 2-quarterback system in the NFL, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in college. It doesn't work in high school. A lot of players are players that are groove players. You have to get in a groove to really get into the flow of the game to really have a chance to perform. So with that being said, let's just, if that happens, if there's a 2-quarterback system past week one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their season's blowing up. Get it out of here, out of town. We don't want to see that crap at all. But we said this yesterday. Me and my man Hoffy sat here on the show and said, players can look really, really good in T-shirts. Players can look really, really good in just helmets. And I think Alpha Rob said it the best here. They are shooting with blank bullets. So, of course, Kyle Trask is going to look better, right? He spent the last 2 seasons sitting behind Tom Brady, learning behind one of the greatest overrated quarterbacks of all time. Now, with that being said, I do like me some Baker Mayfield. I do like the fact that Baker Mayfield has been on 4 teams in 6 years. Can we say that? I do like that he led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs. He got traded from the Carolina Panthers because he was doing too good. Let's just be honest. He was doing a little too good, baby. The Carolina Panthers were in full tank mode. They're like, hey, we're going to draft a quarterback either way. Baker, you're doing too good. Get out of town. Then Baker went to L.A., took over for Matthew Stafford the last couple games of the season, kind of sucked the first game, and then the second or third game, he blew up and had a great game, right? And then he's like, and then he signed with the Bucs. So fact or crap, there's a true quarterback competition with Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. I'm going to go with fact. There indeed is a true quarterback competition. Now, if this quarterback competition lingers on to week 3 of the preseason, we're going to have issues. If this quarterback competition lingers on into week 1 of the NFL season, week 2, week 3, we're going to have an issue. The issue is that we do not want our starting quarterback consistently looking over his shoulder. We do not want our starting quarterback saying, man, if I throw this interception, is this guy going to come take my job? He puts it in there. The next quarterback messes up. Then you put your starter back in, and you have this carousel happening, and you're like, we don't know what to do. What you need to do is you need to find a starter by week 3 of the preseason. You need to stick to that starter all season long. If you truly think that Kyle Trask is your long-term quarterback, which I do love me some Kyle Trask. I think Kyle Trask is if he gets a fair shake, he will be very, very decent in Tampa Bay. Also like some Baker Mayfield as well. I have not really dove deep into their camp yet, which I will today. I actually have it on the Bluetooth right now. Some joint practices. I love me some joint practices. But this is true. There is a true quarterback competition in Tampa Bay. This is 100% fact. Statman Hoffy is in the back here. Blew me up with him with some stats here. He said Kyle Trask sat behind and learned from TB12 last season, and he went 11-2 last season. Tom Brady didn't go 11-2 in last season. Like, what are you talking about? Kyle Trask has sat and learned behind TB12, which that is very, very true. Sitting behind a veteran like Tom Brady is very, very good, and you learn how to play the NFL game. Literally, you learn how to prepare. You learn how to work very, very hard. But on the flip side, he went 11-2 last season. Are you talking about Kyle Trask? He didn't go 11-2. I don't know. Completed 552 passes of 813 passes for 7,386 yards and 69 touchdowns in 28 games appearances for the Gators last season. Yes, Kyle Trask was a dog in college. He was a dog. Let's not get it twisted. I thought Kyle Trask was one of the best quarterbacks coming out of that class because of where he was going to be drafted. Right? He was going to be that 4th, 5th quarterback off the board. He was going to go good to a good team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a chance to sit and a chance to learn. However, the Bucs have kind of they kind of fell off. They had the worst running game last season, and Chris Godwin can't seem to stay healthy, but he got paid, and he got laid. But yes, I do love me some Kyle Trask Hoffy. That is no doubt about it. But to really stimulate this conversation, we do have to bring the man, the myth, the legend onto the screen here. And Hoffy, you are the man behind all of those stats. And Kyle Trask did go 11-2 his last season for the Florida Gators. But we have seen that doesn't really translate to NFL, a.k.a. Tim Tebow. So let me ask you this question. Are you a Kyle Trask fan? Do you think Kyle Trask will end up being QB number 1?
I think it's, as you said, it's going to be a good battle. I do like me some Baker as well, but Kyle Trask, his senior year threw for 4,283 yards, 43 touchdowns, led one of the most powerful offenses in college history. Broke all kinds of stats, but like you said, that doesn't always translate.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, people do not like Baker Mayfield. And I have not wrapped my head around why yet. He did lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs. He did get traded from the Carolina Panthers, and that was simply because he was doing too good. So if there are people out there that are Cleveland Browns fans, that are Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, Rams, Panthers fans, whoever you are, why do you not like Baker Mayfield? Like, I need a legitimate answer. Hoffy, can you give me a legitimate answer why people could possibly hate on Baker?
Didn't they have 34 quarterbacks start from 99 to when Baker took them to the playoffs?
Hell,
I don't understand.
I just watched the Netflix special on Johnny Manziel. This guy was just all about partying, and he wanted to blow all of his money on drugs, alcohol, and girls, and then commit suicide. So
I was gonna say, now he just wants to blow his head off.
Yeah, it just so yes, the Cleveland Browns have had actually, I saw a T-shirt where it had a list of the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks, and it goes from the top of the shoulder all the way down to the bottom. Right? You had Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. Right? Hell, you could name any quarterback in the NFL, and I bet you they died there in Cleveland. Let's just be honest.
I mean, he came to the Rams in less than 1 week, worth of practices and such, and led them to a game-winning drive.
Yeah, which is I don't understand the hate for Baker Mayfield, and maybe one day I will learn it. Maybe one day I can wrap my head around it, but maybe it's just my bias. Maybe it's just that he was so disrespectful for the Kansas Jayhawks, because I am a Kansas State like alum here. Maybe that's why I like me some Baker so much. I don't know. Moving on. My man, Chris Jones, missed training camp again. He is sitting out because he wants to get paid. He wants to get that next big contract. So we have to ask this question: fact or crap, Chris Jones will be on the field week 1 with the Kansas City Chiefs with a new contract. So when we look around the NFL landscape, Chris Jones did sign a 4-year, $80 million deal back in 2020. This year, he is scheduled to make $19.5 million this season. That is nothing to sneeze about, right? That is some really, really good money. But he wants to get paid. He wants to be the highest defensive lineman out there. And when we look at defensive linemen that are getting paid right now, Aaron Donald, $31 million, and Quinn Williams is getting $24 million respectively this season. So there has been rumors out there that GM Brett Beach traded Tyreek Hill because he knew that Chris Jones's payday was coming. And he has been quoted saying that Chris Jones will get paid. So in the back of my head, I'm asking this question: if GM knows he's going to get paid, if the GM knows he wants to get paid, if the GM wants to pay him, why is this deal not done yet? Like, is it a matter of a measly $500,000, a measly $1 million here or there? Like, let's think about it here. So, factor crap, will Chris Jones be there come week 1? Absolutely. Chris Jones is the meat and potatoes of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Chris Jones is that guy. Chris Jones is that dog for the Kansas City Chiefs. We may have let Frank Clark walk. We may have let Snead walk, right? We have maybe have let a couple other players walk, but Chris Jones is the meat and potatoes. Chris Jones has to be on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs week 1 because he is that disruptive. Now, Hoffy, those stats will not correlate, right? Those stats, these stats for defensive linemen are very, very skewed. They can be skewed one way or the other, because when you see a defensive lineman right there with a 3 technique, we're going to say, hey, check. We're going to run the other way because Chris Jones is going to dominate. That is why the Chiefs will be needing him week 1. In fact, he will play week 1. I saw your fingers typing back there. What are you thinking?
I mean, it reminds me of Vince Wilfork and the Patriots, during their dynasty. I mean, the numbers didn't show, but like you said, you were forced to run to the left or to the right. You had to stay away from that middle. But he is due, as you said, $19.5 million. I think that can easily be spread amongst overall the years and such. But rumor has it that he wants $30 million. That's a lot of cash.
That is Aaron Donald type of money here, but Patrick Mahomes has restructured his deal before. Other players have restructured their deal on the Kansas City Chiefs side of things. There are players out there that are willing to, you can say, take a pay cut, but like AKA translate their money into signing bonuses so it comes off the books or whatever you want to do it. There is a way around it, and I think the Chiefs will get it done. But if the Chiefs do not get it done, this defense is effed. Let's just be honest. There's no Frank Clark. There is no there's no Thornhill. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs.
No more Honey Badger.
Yeah, I mean, he was over the hill anyways. Justin Reed was a huge upgrade for the Chiefs, but the reason why you need a solid defensive lineman like Chris Jones is so those linebackers can run free. So those linebackers like myself can get all that honey, can like go get all that bread, can make all the big plays and get the ladies, right? A linebacker, the cornerback's best friend, is a good defensive lineman. And historically, Hoffy, the Chiefs' defense sucks the first 6 weeks of the season. They are terrible. For whatever reason, they're giving up 500 yards, getting up 30-plus points. But then for whatever reason, week 9, week 10, and beyond, they fine-tune that thing, and they're a top 5 defense the last 3 or 4 years. So definitely need some Chris Jones. Ugh. I don't know, man. If the Chiefs don't sign him, I'm going to have to, like, burn my jersey or something. I don't know. Shit.
Revert to being a Cowgirls fan.
Hey, I got a couple Sean Lee jerseys out there. A couple Zekes. You got to do what you got to do, man.
And with his stupid-ass freaking neck thing that he always wears. Or no, that's Van
Der Esch.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, too. Hey, white guys, we have to have the neck roll. We've got to have some massive eye black. And we got to be borderline crazy. We probably
have 2000.
It doesn't matter. If you wear a neck roll now in 2023, you got to be a badass or just really, really sucky. One or the other. Moving on.
I'm going with the latter.
Moving on. San Francisco 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan says that they are not worried about the quarterback situation in San Francisco. So I pulled up some stats here, and I saw this stat, and the 49ers are the first team ever, Hoffy, the first team ever to have 3 different starting quarterbacks in the same season to have a QBR of 100-plus in multiple games in a season. So fact or crap, the San Francisco 49ers indeed do not have a quarterback issue moving forward. So as you guys know, QB1 right now probably is going to be Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers. He went 7-1 last season as a starter, and he kind of took the league by storm. He came in when Jimmy G got hurt. Surprise, 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 right? And bada bing, bada boom, he won a lot of games and ultimately, quote, led the 49ers to the NFC Championship game when they got cheated. Let's use those air quotes there. They got cheated by the Philadelphia Eagles and the refs to lose that game. Also, Trey Lance, starter as well, week 1 through 3. I didn't think Trey Lance looked that good, so to have a QBR over 100, I was kind of surprised by that, but it is what it is. So, factor crap, do the 49ers have a quarterback issues? Yes, the 49ers do have quarterback issues, guys. This is indeed a fact. They do have issues in San Francisco. All you Brock Purdy fans need to slow your roll. Brock Purdy did take the league by storm. He was 7-1 as a starter last season, did go to the NFC Championship game, does have, quote, the right to be the starter this season. However, second-year players, when you get more than 8 games, game tape on you, NFL defenses, coordinators, coaches, and players, they learn your tendencies. They learn what you're good at. They learn what you're bad at. I broke down Brock Purdy film. You guys can head over to youtube.com/manhour, and it is the first link on the members only stream. Click on that, and I break it down. Watch that film and see how bad Brock Purdy actually is. Watch that film and see what Brock Purdy does well and what he does bad. Trey Lance, same thing. Broke him down. That's link number 4 there. Not very good. I don't like Trey Lance either. The 49ers indeed do have quarterback issues, Hoffy. They indeed do not have a true QB1. They indeed are going to be in trouble this season because of their quarterback play. Now, they do have a good defense. They do have a good all-around offense. They have weapons on the offensive side. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, right? Christian McCaffrey. But they have a coach that likes to shit the bed. They have a coach that likes to be mediocre and do opposite of what's gotten them to that point. So, quarterback issues in San Fran, absolutely. Brock Purdy is overrated and just not that good, Hoffy.
He may be overrated, but when you have two quarterbacks that have, in Darnold and Lance that were drafted second and third, do you really have a controversy? I mean, the 49ers don't need their quarterback to be anything special. They run a lot of jet sweeps. They run
Right.
a lot of, short passes, which is why Purdy was, able to be put in successful positions because it's just hike the ball, two-step drop, get it out of your hands. They don't want anything pretty or flashy out of their quarterback. So I think that they don't have a quarterback controversy because you don't really need a superstar quarterback, even though you have three potential good starters. I'm still not sold on Purdy, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Mac Jones last year in his sophomore year,
Right.
after having a successful rookie year.
The,
But I do, and Trey Lance had some successful numbers in those first 3 games, and in the first game last season, he played in the pouring rain against the Chicago Bears, if I recall. So
yeah.
to still have those kind of stats after that monsoon that he played in, I would rather see Trey Lance than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, let's flash back to that Chicago game. Weren't the Chicago Bears all hyped like, hey, we beat the 49ers, we're gonna be so good? 2 wins
Slipping
last
and
season.
sliding in the end zone.
3 wins last season. Congratulations, Bear fans. Let's give the Bear fans some round of applause for such a great season last year.
Uh-oh.
But
Combs is going to be coming in telling us to keep his boys out of his mouth.
But you are right to an extent. Yes, the 49ers do not ask their quarterbacks to do anything special. But at the same time, they also ask them to make a big play when they need a big play, right? Now, Brock Purdy made some big plays last season. He did make a lot of those 50 throws that went their way. Now, you are comparing Mac Jones' sophomore year to Brock Purdy's sophomore year. Now, let's look at the conflicts there, right? Mac Jones went from a defensive offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels to a worst head coach of all time, a defensive coordinator, and somebody that has never coached on the offensive side of the ball in Matt Patricia. How he got an offensive coordinator job, I don't know. The 49ers are still have the same head coach. Now they do have a new offensive coordinator because not DeMeco Ryans, but who was the 49ers offensive coordinator, he got a job somewhere else. I can't remember who, but they still have the Kyle Shanahan effect. That they still have the Kyle Shanahan offense right now. So I think we know who Brock Purdy is. I think he is now. When I say I don't trust in Brock Purdy, he is going to be a middle of the road quarterback. He is going to be that game manager that wants to do good things, right? He is going to be like Russell Wilson last season, right? Going to try to play out of his mind a little bit and trying to get to that next level. On the flip side of that, do we truly know who Trey Lance is? Do we truly know? Because Trey Lance has not played a full season of college or NFL football since 2019. This man has not played more than 3 games in a season since 2019. So, and to say Sam Darnold is the answer, get out of here with that crap. I am worried about the 49ers offense, to be honest with you.
I mean, Trey Lance also was at North Dakota State. I mean,
yes.
So yeah, I mean, he didn't even play, Division I college football, but he's got the arm talent. He's got the legs. I think that in that 49ers offense, he's the perfect fit for that.
Yeah. So Guys, that beautiful voice that you are hearing here is Mr. Hoffy at Man Hour Hoffy on the old Facebook page, and this is the wall of Hoffy here. He is the man behind the chat right here on the live show. All those stats that he piled up there, bada bing, bada boom, that is all coming from the old Google machine and his finger. So Hoffy, you can be like the producer of the show. Like, you are like, hey, you suck at this, and this is why Trey Lance is so, or this is why Kyle Trask is so good, because he was 11-2 as a starter in college, threw for 4,000 yards in college, for 43 touchdowns in college.
But then he sat behind Tom Brady.
Not in college. The most overrated game manager of all time, Mr. Tom Brady himself.
Suck on these nuts. He's the most overrated quarterback.
He is.
What other quarterbacks got as many Super Bowl appearances or Super Bowl rings?
Nobody as of yet.
We're not talking future, so you can't add Pat Mahomes.
I'm just saying nobody yet. But it is actually, it probably will never come because of the paydays that will be coming in the NFL. Joe Burrow will never get it. Josh Allen will never get it. Lamar Jackson will never get another playoff win. Patrick Mahomes will probably never get it. It's just the nature of the beast right now. I feel like the NFL, you have about a 5-year window, maybe 6-year, to win as many Super Bowls as you can, and then bada bing, bada boom.
Then maybe they should marry a supermodel that makes way more money than them, so they can take those pay cuts, put a team around them, break some records,
true,
and win some rings.
That is very, very true. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But moving on.
Hashtag get rid of Britney.
Hey, she's a professional soccer player.
Yeah, didn't they make like $4 million compared to the men's soccer team making 22?
Yeah, she also owns Sporting KC, or the women's soccer team. They own the hockey team. They own a majority stake of the Royals. They'll be all right.
That's Patty's money.
But Britney is the mastermind behind it. Every good man needs a strong woman, Hoffy. You know that.
Go dump some wine on some innocent fans.
It wasn't wine. It was champagne. Moving on. The Detroit Lions have made some splashes here in the last couple days here. They signed a backup quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, to, quote, mentor Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker moving forward. So some stats on Teddy Bridgewater's career. That's right, his career. 31 starts, 37 touchdowns to 22 interceptions. So fact or crap, this is a good signing for the Detroit Lions and Teddy Bridgewater. Well, the latter of that, this is a good signing for Teddy Bridgewater. 100%. This is like the guy's 6th team in 7 or 8 years. This man is a journeyman backup, and he is getting paid, and he is getting laid, and he is not really getting his body hurt at all anymore. But for the Detroit Lions, let's think about this. You guys drafted a quarterback by the name of Hendon Hooker. Yes, he is coming off an ACL injury. Yes, he is coming off of, a shortened college career. He was pretty damn good in Tennessee. The games that I saw him play, I was like, wow, this guy is very dynamic, very prolific. But
I think he was a leader for Heisman before he got that ACL
I
injury.
believe you are right as well. Going into week 6 or whatever, yeah, he was definitely leading the way in the Heisman here. But when you bring in a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater to mentor Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker, what is he going to mentor? Yes, I understand that Teddy Bridgewater has been around the league. He has been with the Vikings. He's been with the Saints. He's been with who else has he been? And with Hoffy,
he's been with the Vikings, the Saints, the Panthers, the Broncos, and the Dolphins.
Yeah, so he has been around the league, and he's only been on really one good organization, and that is going to be the New Orleans Saints. But even then, it was after Sean Payton left, if I'm not mistaken. So what exactly is Teddy Bridgewater going to bring to mentor?
He was still with Payton.
Okay.
Because he took over for Breeze during that injury.
Right. No. Taysom Hill did.
2018 and 19.
I thought Taysom Hill started those games.
I think that was the latter, but no, in 2018, 2019, he was,
Okay. So
2019 with the Saints, he threw for 1,384 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 99.1 rating.
gotcha. So either way, he's been with one decent organization with Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, right? He's been in one good organization. So when he's there to mentor, what is he going to mentor? Jared Goff probably has more mentoring skills than Teddy Bridgewater. Like, this is a terrible signing for the Detroit Lions. I don't understand this signing. Yes, I do understand that Hendon Hooker won't be ready to play this season, but why do you sign like a 33-year-old guy? Like, do you want that quote veteran presence? Like, is it the black on black thing? Like, hey, I'm a black quarterback. You're a black quarterback, less like less like mesh. I just don't understand the signing here. Do you like the signing at all?
I thought I did, but now that I look more into it, I mean, their stats are identical. As far as completion percentage for Teddy's career, it's 66%. Goff is 64. Interceptions to touchdown ratio about the same. They each have, they're in the 90s for quarterback rating. I do like maybe the sense that Teddy Bridgewater will mentor Hooker on the right times to use the legs.
Okay.
Goff isn't quite as mobile. He can move in the pocket and he can get you some yards, but Hooker and Bridgewater are much more alike in the sense that they're a dual threat. But I do think that Jared Goff finds a way to throw an interception at the wrong time. So
right, yeah.
Maybe they.
Following Teddy Bridgewater's career through college here at Louisville and then up in Minnesota before he blew his knee apart, I never really pictured him as a mobile quarterback. He was more of a pocket type of guy. Like, that just happened to be
right, but he has the speed and the ability to use the legs.
Okay.
And I think that Hendon Hooker, if they can get him to rely more on throwing the ball, and in emergencies he can use the legs. So maybe that's where they have the Teddy Bridgewater mentorship kind of.
So let me ask you this question and ask the Detroit Lions fans out there as well. Mainly my man Luke G, because he puts on one of the best Detroit Lions podcasts that I have listened to and been a part of out there. Is Hendon Hooker truly the future in Detroit? Are they basically saying, Jared Goff, you have 1 year left. You have 1 year left to lead us to the playoffs, to win us a playoff game. Either or, you are out. Like, the writing is on the wall. Jared Goff, no longer a Detroit Lion 2024. Does this signing of Teddy Bridgewater, does that ultimately say that? I'm going to go with yes. I don't think, for whatever reason, the Detroit Lion fan base, the coaches or whatever, they do not like Jared Goff. And I do not know why. Now, Dan Campbell is not married to Jared Goff. Dan Campbell did not bring Jared Goff in. He did bring Hendon Hooker in via draft. So maybe that is the correlation that we are seeing here. Hoffy, you being a guy that has been a part of these quarterback transitions, right? Hey, we're going to bring in Matt Castle to replace Tom Brady. We're going to bring in Jimmy G. We're going to bring in this guy. This guy. Does Jared Goff ultimately get replaced after this season, or do you what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's a difference between replacing the GOAT and replacing Jared Goff.
Okay.
But in 24 games, Hendon Hooker threw for over 6,000 yards. He was, again, as we already discussed, primed to be the Heisman winner last year. Because of that injury, he fell down in the draft. So that obviously salary is lower. So by moving on from Goff, who's a pretty high salary, now you're able to put some weapons around your team with the flexibility of the salary cap, not having to pay Hendon as much. So I do think it's a really smart move. I mean, the GM has come out and talked about how he's smart, he's talented, the journey that he's had to overcome. So, he's going to have that, that strength, the mentality and everything. So I do think that Hendon Hooker is the future of the Lions, and future might be bright if they can put some weapons around him with the salary that they're going to save by moving on from Goff.
So as we go back to the wall of Hoffy here, I have to think about this a little bit. What if Jared Goff does lead the Detroit Lions to the playoffs? What if they get a playoff win this season? Can you legitimately place a quarterback that gives you a winning season, that leads you to the playoffs, that wins a playoff game, possibly wins the NFC North? Can you legitimately replace that with a quarterback that you don't know what he's going to do in the NFL?
Well, that said, you still have 3 more years with Hendon Hooker. So if he does go on this unbelievable run and you hold on to him 1 more year, Hendon Hooker's not, breaking the bank for you yet. So
Jared Goff is due for a contract this year, though. Like this, he's in a final year of his contract.
Give him 1 year.
True. Do you think Jared Goff will agree to a franchise tag?
I mean, we see people sign contracts and then the NFL cuts them after, a year or two. So
yeah, I don't know. I just think the Lions are making a mistake. But of course, we always have to think 5 moves ahead, right? Like you always have to think.
That's
down
why
the
we're
road.
on a podcast and we're not GMs.
Well, true. But I would be the second greatest GM of all time. I'm just putting it out there.
Behind Belichick?
No, behind Ryan Poles, right? The guy from the Chicago Bears making all those moves.
Combs is gonna murder us.
Are we crowning the GOAT a little too early there? Like, are we? Yeah, Bears, you're gonna suck this year. Slow it down, baby. Moving on to the final topic of the day. Let's head back down to Florida, Hoffy, Jacksonville, Florida, and the Jacksonville quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, has been ranked by his peers as the 14th ranked quarterback in the NFL. Jaguar fans are pissed, Hoffy. NFL is kind of like, I mean, he's good, but he's not that good. We don't know where he's at. So, fact or crap, is Trevor Lawrence the 14th ranked quarterback in the league? So when we think about this, off the top of my head, I can probably name 10 quarterbacks better than Trevor Lawrence. Now, people are on this Jaguars train because they made the playoffs last season. Guys, you guys understand that they kind of fell into the playoffs. They basically fell into the playoffs because the Titans could not win a game after week 11. Like, let's just be honest. That's the only reason why they were in the playoffs, because the Titans literally shit the bed. Trevor Lawrence is not that guy. Trevor Lawrence might be that guy in maybe a couple years, maybe at the end of this year, but going into 2023, he is not a top 10 quarterback. He is not a top 5 quarterback. Number 14 for Trevor Lawrence, I think, Hoffy, is right where he needs to be. He is behind Patty Mahomes. He is behind Joe Burrow. He is behind Jared Goff. Tua, Josh Allen. I even put Lamar up there. I put Dak up there, right? Geno Smith is better than Trevor Lawrence. 14 is right where he needs to be.
Matthew Stafford coming back from injury.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
Always forget about prime time Kirk. Kirk Cousins puts up some of the most undervalued stats out there. Kirk Cousins is always stat-wise in the MVP race, but for whatever reason, because it's Kirk Cousins, his name and MVP just don't mix, and I don't know why.
Russell Wilson.
Let's not get crazy.
I mean, come on, Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Sean Payton.
We will see. That is to be determined. But do you think Trevor Lawrence is the ranked 14th quarterback in the NFL?
I think you could. Towards the end there, we said Kirk Cousins, we said Matthew Stafford. I think depending on who you speak to, it can go from the 8 to 14 position, depending on where people view Matthew Stafford, where
8.
people view Jared Goff. But I still don't think he's a top 10.
No, definitely not a top 10 here. So
He's creeping up into that top 10, but I think we need to see body of work before we're able to call him a top 10 quarterback.
So let me ask you this question here, because Deshaun Watson is ranked higher than Trevor Lawrence on that list. Based off of last season, is Deshaun Watson better than Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, because I'm going to go off of body of work.
Okay.
Watson also, it was his first year with the team. He hadn't played in quite some bit because he was getting a couple extra rub downs here and there, so.
I'm going to send you a link. You need to read this story here. This was my rant to start the day. Texas minority owner was
Lawrence was the number one pick.
Right.
And
shows
Mac
Deshaun
Jones
Watson
outplayed him in that rookie year. And we're wondering if Mac Jones is a bust or not. So how are we going to now say that Trevor Lawrence is top 10 when we're saying Mac Jones is a bust and he outplayed him?
I don't think anybody's saying Mac Jones is a bust except for Chicago Bears fans.
Some Patriots fans think so.
Really?
They like that zappy fever.
Are you referring to Wayne G there? Put a name on it.
I'm more than 50% of the fans, I think. There's anyone that doesn't know shit about sports. How about that?
Really? I will put a poll on the Facebook page later here and see if you are right. See if people think Mac Jones is a bust. We'll figure it out. But guys, that's going to be it for today's show.
I got a blog coming out about it.
We got a blog coming out about it, so check it out at manhourradio.com. Check it out coming soon here. But that's going to be it for today's show. Live, raw, uncut sports talk. The only place where you can get live, raw, uncut sports talk every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. East Coast time. Hoffy, anything before we head out, man?
Nope. See y'all tomorrow, Man Hour Nation.
Bye.